Alert 6 starts now.
It is great to have you with us early on this Wednesday morning on our First Alert 6 streaming. I'm Erin Hartley.
I'm Cerise Cole. Welcome back, Jared Lansford. Good to see you, along with Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. So this time yesterday, we were talking 40s, flirting with 50. That is not the case this morning.
Yeah, the colder air has arrived. At least we got sunshine today. That's the biggest change that benefits us the most. But the cold temperatures are back, and it's going to be a lot of ups and downs here the next several days. So let's talk about how it all plays out. 30 degrees right now, north wind at 28 miles per hour. That gives us a wind chill of 15. Remember, the wind chill's factored off the sustained winds. Any gusts up over 30, it's going to drive that wind chill even lower. We're in the low 30s, some upper 20s now starting to show up. Crescent, Missouri Valley, Underwood, the northeast part of this map's always been the coldest all morning as that colder air comes in on that north wind. You can see the air temperatures down in the 20s across the northern part of the map here, still holding on to 30s near and south of I-80. But compared to yesterday, as Reese mentioned, we were right around 50 degrees at this point yesterday. So 20 degrees colder this morning. And trust me, you are going to notice it when you step out. You want the bigger coat today for sure, with wind chills now down in the single digits in some spots. Denison and Carroll and points in between. That colder air dropping south, and well, the wind chill's in the teens for the next several hours. Try to rebound a little bit this afternoon. That 2 to 5 window might get in the low 20s. That's the best we can do, though. It's just going to be cold all the way around. And by the end of the weekend, you're just going to be sick of the wind, trust me, on this one. Gusts up near 40 miles per hour this morning. You can see into the afternoon, those back off a little bit. They'll be near 20 at the worst, and then tail off even more as the sun sets. Clouds are working south. There's been a few flurries within these and some showers. Those are moving out, so less and less of a concern. And frankly, I wasn't that worried about them to begin with. So they're out of here, and now the sunshine's going to win out. Model's doing a good job showing where those are going. Mid-20s at 9. By noon, we're upper 20s. And then into the afternoon, low 30s for that afternoon high, I should say. The official high for today, you're going to see, it was in a little after midnight last night of 43 degrees. So, yeah, we're not going to get to enjoy any of that air. It's been getting colder ever since. Clear skies most of the day. By 7 o'clock, we're falling off through the 20s. By 10, we're down near 20, and we should dip into the upper teens before the clouds filter in, and a little bit of warmth tries to return by tomorrow morning, kind of setting the stage for what should be a little bit better day tomorrow. More sunshine and colder today, more clouds and a little bit more warmth tomorrow, up to 45, and then 34 for the high on Friday. We've got a few snow showers there to talk about as well.
Okay, something to point out that you're going to talk about soon. It's this little arrow that we're going to see in a second.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Well, temperatures are going to go backwards on Friday. We hate those days in the middle of winter.
Don't like backwards days.
It usually starts okay, but by the end of the day, whew, and we will see those numbers go backwards and in a big way here. So Friday's the day to watch. That consistently all week has been the day with the strongest wind gusts. And you can see that here, gusting near 30 miles per hour early in the morning. So we have 34 in the forecast for the high on Friday. That is likely sometime around 9 or 10 a.m. Then these winds really pick up. They'll gust into the 40s, some 50-plus mile per hour winds in central and western Nebraska. Keep that in mind if you got to go west on I-80 on Friday, maybe a weekend trip to Denver for some skiing or something. You'll be fighting a crosswind there. Still very windy Friday night, still windy on Saturday, and starting to lean more towards a windy Sunday and maybe even Monday as well. Remember how I said you'd be tired of the wind? Yeah, we're going to deal with it, I think, all the way into the early part of next week, and that's going to mess with our temperatures a lot. So there's that little arrow, 34, that's in the morning. We'll likely be in the 20s in the afternoon. Some snow showers I'll talk about a little later. 15 is it for Saturday, 37 on Sunday, and then another dip of cold. Monday has really trended colder on model runs in the last day and a half, down to 22 for that afternoon high, and then trying to rebound a little bit, but nothing starts with a 5 or a 6 there like we've had. They got a lot of 2s, 3s, and 4s, and I think we'll just keep on doing that the rest of January.
It's hard to be so abrupt like that.
I know. It hurts a little bit, but you got a couple of good days to start off the week anyway.
Yeah, we did. We've been spoiled, so we can't complain.
Really turbulent 10-day there.
Pay attention.
All right, let's talk about traffic. You got some news for some Ralston travelers?
Yeah, it's in that long-term project that
yeah.
we've been talking about, 72nd and L. So we were first alerting you last week that we were going to start seeing the one-lane travel as you're going on 72nd in both directions. That's in place.
Okay.
And so we are looking at some of our slowest areas in the metro being right around there. So be ready for that this morning as you're trying to make your way northbound. This is not just a this morning thing. This is going to be long-term where you're looking at things really struggling as you're approaching L Street from the south if you're using 72nd. And here's what it looks like. You can see some of those oranges that are showing up. That was even red a little bit ago with some of the delays. So that intersection getting reconstructed, there's going to be delays in all directions as you head through that stretch. So if you're thinking about other options, usually your head goes to 84th as the alternate route when you think of 72nd. Here's the problem. You've got work that's happening on 84th as well as you're going between Giles and Harrison. Now, the delays are not as large at this point on that stretch, but that could pick up as we start to bring the traffic load up here over the course of the morning. So I'll be watching that, but keep that in mind if you're trying to use 84th. I want to point you toward 96th. That's been moving along really well. Even into last week, we were looking at traffic going pretty well on 96. So that's another option you can use for those of you who are traveling Papillion, La Vista, Ralston through that part of the metro. Those are some things to think about here over the next couple of months where we have that work happening on 72nd. The overall commutes are really moving along really well. We've got some of our familiar delays showing up, 204th between Gretna and Elkhorn. As you're going northbound, a little bit slow there, but most roads are in good shape. We don't have much in the way of delays, so hopefully we can hold on to that here and have a nice start to our Wednesday.
Yeah, hopefully so. All right, Jarrett, thanks for the updates. We appreciate it. News now, fire crews working this morning to identify the cause of a fire at an Omaha recycling center. The good news is the battalion chief on the scene tells us no one was injured. The fire happened shortly after 7 last night at the First Star Fiber Recycling Center. This is near 102nd and I. If it sounds familiar, that's because it is. This is a second fire in the center at just over a year. In the most recent fire, we are told crews were called because the location of the fire made it difficult to get to.
An ATM robbery ending with $100 bills flying in the air. These three men have been booked into the Douglas County jail. They're accused of stealing from a Wells Fargo ATM near 24th and K. Lancaster County deputies arrested them after a traffic stop on I-80. Now, prosecutors say a man was repairing an ATM when two people shoved him and grabbed the cash from that machine. Wells Fargo reported a loss of $220,000. One of the responding officers did recognize similarities with the other cases in Texas that helped them to track down the rental car used in that theft.
Well, the next time you go to the polls, someone new will be overseeing the election.
Yeah, it is the first week for Danielle Jensen as the Douglas County Election Commissioner. In an interview with First Alert 6, Jensen said that she was hesitant at first to apply, but believed that her background in federal and state government would make her a pretty good fit. Jensen got her first taste of Election Day as residents in Valley submitted their votes on a special election.
It'll be a very small dry run of what is to come, but I know it's going to help at least give me an idea of what will happen come May.
Jensen is replacing Brian Cruz, whose last day was last Friday. She will serve the rest of his term, which ends in 2027.
All right, Erin, thank you. I'm at the safety desk with our Maria Cade. We're talking about a new study, and it focuses on how small changes, small ones, diet, exercise, and sleep can make a big difference in all of our lives.
Yeah, it might sound like a lot to combine all those three, but when you do it in small doses, it can actually make a pretty big change. So researchers at the University of Sydney, they followed about 60,000 people over an average of 8 years. And the study found that people who adapted those small changes in those specific groups altogether could live longer without major health problems. Now, part of the equation was minimizing or cutting out those ultra-processed foods. We talked about that a lot here. Larger changes, though, could add as much as 9 more years to somebody's life. The participants who gained the most benefits got between 42 and 103 minutes of exercise every single day. So you got to work that exercise in as well. But they also slept between 7 to 8 hours every night. Talk about that good and consistent sleep.
Yeah.
And then that diet that they were eating was rich in fruits, veggies, whole grains, and fish as well.
Yeah, so if you make these little changes, they really do add up.
Yes, it does.
All right, we've all got some challenges for the new year, right? Maria Kate at the safety desk this morning. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Substack, as always.
Taking a live look outside, overlooking the Woodman Life Tower early on this Wednesday morning. We're saying bye-bye to the warmer temperatures. They were nice while they lasted. In the meantime, now we're taking the plunge.
Yeah, temperatures are going backwards, and they're going to stay pretty cold the majority of the day. This is a look at where we've been every hour over the last 12 hours, and you can see where those numbers are. Near 50 at 7 o'clock last night. And notice right here, between midnight and 1 a.m. last night, 44 became 42. Well, officially, our high for today is going to be that 43 that happened in there right after midnight. So with that, everything's colder since then, and everything will be colder beyond that. So if you see a high of 43 in maybe the almanac or later on tonight on shows, you'll be like, when did that happen? A little bit after midnight last night. And we're down to 30 now. Heavy coat, warm hat, and gloves. Take all the winter gear. We're not going to move much today. These 30s will turn into 20s as the colder 20s are dropping in from the north, buoyed by these winds here. This little pocket of wind that's right here moving across the area. There we go. That is going to drop south over the course of the next several hours. It'll calm down from north to south as well as that moves through later on this afternoon. So we got teens and 20s on the map at the moment. Wind gust forecast shows how these gradually back off by 4 or 5 o'clock. We're down near 20 with our strongest wind gusts, and you can see today not much of a rebound. We'll fall off into the mid-20s and then climb to about 32 degrees by 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, we're talking about some snowfall potential on Friday with any of the colder air moving in. This is a look at model snowfall potential through about early Saturday morning, 7 a.m. Not much, and that's going to be the case with any snow through the weekend and frankly for the next 10 days. That's all going to stay to the northeast. Not a big issue there. It's all about the wind, I think, over the next several days. Look at Friday's wind gusts. They've continually looked like the strong ones, gusting 40 to 45. Middle of the day, the stronger 50 plus are off to the west. And you can see still strong wind by Friday night, still some strong winds Saturday, still windy on Sunday, and likely that way for Sunday night into Monday too. So we're talking about 4 days in a row there where we could have wind gusts at least 30 miles per hour or a little bit stronger into the end of the week, or into early next week, I should say. There's a little down arrow I talked about on Friday. Let's discuss the snow showers that come with it. A few little bursts of these move in mid-morning, and then that'll cool us off the rest of the day. These don't amount to much, but you can just see how spotty they're going to be with spotty snow showers moving through. Occasionally, if you're caught underneath one of those, you could have a little dip in some visibility over the course of Friday afternoon as well, so keep that in mind.
Well, the weekends have been very eventful these last couple of weekends. What do we need to know about the wind chill this weekend, though?
I like you hesitate and finding a classy way to say that. All right, 15, for the high on Saturday. Notice the morning lows down in the single digits. There's wind chill to talk about as well. Notice where Friday night into Saturday morning, those wind chills dip below 0, and they could stay there a good chunk of the morning. Now getting down near 10 below by Saturday morning, and then trying to rebound a little bit. But I think Saturday afternoon is going to be cold. By 10 p.m. Saturday night, still very cold. And then heading into Sunday, still some below 0 wind chills. They do rebound a little bit by Sunday afternoon, so that's better there. But again, those bouts of wind this weekend are going to come with some cold numbers the way it's looking as temperatures just keep trending farther and farther into the lower and lower into the teens, I should say.
Yikes. Okay, but that's more like January, honestly, at this point.
We haven't had a day like that in a while.
Oh, all right. It's been a nice break. Let's get a check on traffic this morning. It's also a nice break from the traffic. Pretty quiet, and you've been saying that for the past hour-ish.
And we've had that entire time we've had our fingers crossed. It's amazing.
I know. No one is broken.
So, yeah, it's been a nice start to the commute. We haven't really had too much in the way of issues. And when you're looking throughout on the cameras, you could see that that's kind of getting reflected. Where I-80 looks good, Dodge, not too many issues. We are starting to get a little bit slower as you're making your way toward the peak of the commute on eastbound Dodge. That tends to happen from about 144th back toward 168th. So some of your familiar spots, you should still expect things to be slower. That's going to be picking up here over the next 20 minutes or so. But in general, we look pretty good. We haven't had much in the way of incidents. There are a couple of areas where we do have some construction that could maybe slow you down a little bit. 13th, you've got one lane travel both directions right around G. That's scheduled through the weekend. So far holding up okay, but watch for that being a spot where things could slow down. Westbound Dodge, as you get around Saddle Creek, you've got some lane restrictions that'll be in place for 2 weeks for some repairs that are happening there. And then also on Saddle Creek, one of the spots that we are actually seeing delays, southbound as you're going between Farnham and Emily, you've got one lane travel. That's scheduled through Friday. So that's backing up back past Dodge. So be ready for that to be a slow area this morning. Mostly doing well, but as I mentioned, some of those familiar delays that you expect during the peak of the commute, the JFK slowing down as you're starting to get around L and Q. So that's one spot that is struggling a little bit. I expect Dodge starts to flare up and we'll get some of those usual spots that do get congested over the next half hour or so. But aside from those, nothing that's unusual popping up.
Okay, good to hear, Jared. Thank you. Happening today, a big announcement from the city of Omaha. Mayor John Ewing will declare 2026 to be the year of the neighbor and announce that initiative that, quote, all Omahans could embrace. It starts at 3 o'clock at City Hall. Well, coming up, don't miss this. IHOP has a new offer that'll have you ready to eat to your fill.
Yeah, we'll tell you how you can challenge your appetite when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. You can enjoy unlimited fluffy goodness at your nearest IHOP restaurant.
This is always the best, right? But there's a catch. IHOP's bottomless pancakes deal is only available with the purchase of select breakfast combos. So the breakfast chain paired up with New York Giants wide receiver Malik Neighbors to announce the promotion during the video. Neighbors refers to a popular fantasy football punishment for last place teams where they spend 24 hours at IHOP eating pancakes. The offer runs through.
Yeah, it is. My son was telling me about it.
It runs through March 30th.
That promo is really good if you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that
funny.
at all.
Yeah, so Malik Neighbors, he got hurt this year. So they're talking about, oh yeah, you didn't really help out any of these teams.
Oh, I get it.
So it's pretty self-deprecating.
Yikes.
It's pretty good.
His face at the end of that. That's pretty good.
That's a common theme. So in fantasy football leagues, the winner gets to pick something that's kind of humiliating for the absolute last place team. And that's been a thing. Like, you got to go sit in an IHOP and do bottomless pancakes for 24 hours.
I know it might be surprising, but I'm not the fantasy football type. I would not know about that.
I wouldn't know neither, but my son is on it, and he was like, I don't want to be that guy.
No. That's actually pretty tame from some of the other punishments. But that's interesting. You got to buy the combo, and by the time you eat the combo, you don't have room.
Oh my gosh, it's impossible. But they look good. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're going to get ready for our update in the Today Show. Of course, you can watch it here on streaming or over the air.
And have a great start to your Wednesday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Wednesday morning to you. It is now 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Aaron Hartley. Got some slowdowns this morning on the JFK. We'll get right to Jarrett.
Yeah, it's really starting to build over the last 10 to 15 minutes as you're making your way northbound. You can see all the brake lights and just kind of the shuffle for drivers as they're making their way near L. As you look through the stretch, you've got the area right near I-80 that normally gets slow at this point, but also some delays that are off and on all the way from about Q back down as you get past Cornhusker. So be ready for slowdowns as you're making your way along that stretch. We've also got around 90th and Maple where things are showing some delays as well. Watch for that being another spot where traffic is not quite up to speed. A lot of our roads are in pretty good shape, but do watch those spots for delays. Rusty.
Thanks, Jared. It's cold out there this morning, cold air spilling in, but we have sunshine today. So clouds and warmer yesterday, sunshine and colder today as the dry air really clears the clouds out. We're at 30 degrees right now, feels like 15, and those numbers will just keep falling the next several hours. Normally this is the coldest part of the day, but colder 20s are being driven south into our area. You can see all those to the north. Wind chills down in the teens in many spots. That's where we're going to be all morning as the north wind Likely gusts near 35 miles per hour the next couple of hours. Should back off, though. By the end of the day, gusts near 20. Should feel a little bit better. But there's your wind chill forecast. Teens this morning, lower 20s this afternoon, and then the wind will relax a little bit this evening. 45 on Thursday, another windy day on the way Friday, cold on Saturday. Aaron?
Well, fire crews were called to a fire at an Omaha recycling center near 102nd and I just after 7 o'clock last night. Now, the good news is we're told there was no injuries. This is the second fire, though, at the center in just over a year.
Well, it is 7:28, and we're back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then.